Hello everyone, and welcome to part 2 of our ADA step-by-step setup series. Today we will be setting up the filtration, heater and CO2 system. For the past few weeks I have been misting the aquarium twice a day and I left the light running 24/7. I have been using a twin T5 light as I have been waiting for my max spec light, otherwise I would have used the max spec from the start. So far, I am more than happy with the results from the HC. It's been growing really well and the slight bit of yellowing I had in the first week disappeared as quickly as it came up. The bellum hasn't taken to immerse growth very well. It's probably because where I have planted the bellum is quite thick with substrate that as I spray it daily, the water is draining too quickly and the roots aren't getting what they need. I was thinking about changing it out, but I might wait until the tank has been running a few weeks and make my decision from there. The ADA Superjet series of canister filters are made with a robust stainless steel body. They have a mounted pump on the top to help provide a stable filtration. This canister is very similar to the Eheim Classics, water in through the bottom, through the media and then out through the top. I really like canister filters that are designed this way without the baskets. Even though the canisters designed with the baskets work great, sometimes as the media becomes blocked, the water can find its way around the baskets, avoiding the media and still giving the impression the unit is flowing well. Without the baskets, all of the water has to pass through the media, so as the media becomes blocked, the flow rate will slow down quite dramatically, giving us a good indication that it needs to be cleaned. I have a Superjet filter, ES1200, which comes with 8 litres of the ADA BioRio, which will be our primary media source for this particular setup. BioRio is mainly made of pumice stone with a porous surface, which helps make the ideal environment for beneficial bacteria to colonise. You want to give this a good rinse before putting it in the canister filter, which I've already done. On the top of the BioRio, we will use 750 ml of ADA NA carbon. Activated carbon absorbs and removes impurities from the water with multiple pores on the carbon surface. When carbon is dry, it holds onto a lot of air, so it's recommended you soak the carbon in dechlorinated water for a while before adding it to your filter. By doing this, you decrease the chance of getting an air cavitation and reducing the efficiency of the filter. Unfortunately, I've sold out of the ADA carbon, so I have to put that in just before we fill the tank on the next video. Now let's set it up. Okay. So we'll just take the O-ring out. I'm not sure if you can see that on the bottom. We've got a mesh plate which is going to stop the media from going right down to the bottom of the unit and blocking off the intake. We'll put the BioRio in first. We may need to take a little bit of the BioRio out when the carbon gets here, but we may not either because the seems to be a couple of inches left to fit in the carbon. We might need to take an inch of the BioRio out though to make it fit. These clips are so super tight. I can't see this canister ever having a leak. Put the inlet tube hose on and the clamp, which comes supplied with the unit. And the outlet tube. That out of the way for now. That one. Let's go into. That's pretty long. Get our lily pipe out first. This is going to be our inlet for the tank. It's a nice glass lily pipe. I want to leave a little bit of slack on the tube for when we need to clean the canister filter. So I'm thinking go bit of water on the suction cup so it'll stick nice. Now that tube is way too long, but I did want to have it longer on purpose. Maybe too long. Might need to cut that down a bit more. The glass lily pipe for the return. I want to push firmly, but not too hard. It's only glass. Now I think this one might still be a bit too long. So I might shorten that real quick. So I've gone ahead and put the high door 200 watt inline heater on. Normally this would be put on top of the filter on the outlet because the unit needs to be sitting vertical, but because I don't have enough room, I've gone and put it on the inlet, which should be fine. I've also used a zip tie to keep the pipe nice and straight, and it also helps to keep all this nice and neat. Now for the maintenance stand. This is where we keep our fish food, tweezers, scissors and fertilisers, so they are all close by and ready to use when we need them. I have chosen to go with the maintenance stand Clear Type A, which is made out of acrylic with a high clarity, and it also has a storage space right here for my CO2 tower. The CO2 tower is a refillable CO2 bottle which comes with a very nice stainless steel cover which will keep the CO2 bottle in an upright position. First we want to attach the ADA standard CO2 regulator. The regulator is equipped with a fixed pressure inhibition function of 0.30 MPa and has a two-stage safety purge system which prevents unexpected fluctuations in pressure and accidents while attaching the CO2 bottle. So here is where right there is the safety purge system. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. So first we'll pop that on. Make sure you got the little seal lined up right. And this we're going to put into our maintenance stand. Like that. So first we're going to run the CO2 line up to the aquarium from the bottle, maybe. Oh, there we go. If I turn that, it's going to make it a lot easier, isn't it? Well, that's a very tight fit, so I can't see that blowing off once we get it all the way on. So let's take that off. No, that's not going anywhere. Okay. So next we're going to run the CO2 line up to the CO2 beetle counter. This beetle counter is pretty awesome. Made completely of glass, it has a practical and playful design. The bubbles can be easily counted as the CO2 rises up the spiral. Just going to put a bit of water on the suction cups. And we'll position that roughly where we want it. Now we need to put the check valve on before it runs into the beetle counter. Try and put it on nice and careful because, as I said earlier, we are dealing with glass. It's pretty good. Make sure you put the check valve on the right way. Then, once we attach that, we run the CO2 line up to the ADA joint glass piece, which will be sitting up here. Oh, I've put the beetle counter up a little bit too high, I think. So we'll just run that down a little bit. That's way too long anyways. Just going to put a bit of heat into that tubing. And that should help. This piece is very, very fragile, so I need to be very careful. Like that. Get a little rubber. There we go. Next, we would attach a CO2 line down to the pollen glass large diffuser. Unfortunately, the wholesaler was out of stock of the pollen glass large diffusers when I made my initial ADA order, but it will be here with my carbon and light in time for the next video update. So the diffuser is going to sit down here when we're finished, which will diffuse the CO2 going into the aquarium, which will then disperse throughout the tank. In the next update, we can get the tank filled with water, the max spec on, and get the CO2 and filter running and begin the biological cycling process. Thank you all for watching again. I hope you can join me for the next update.